Hey guys, this is Peter and you're watching my film diary. This is a spoilers review for Avengers Age of Ultron. Here I'm going to discuss the film which I've seen and interesting things I've picked up, as well as the disappointments I have in the film. Now these disappointments aren't saying it's a bad film, it just doesn't make it the amazing film it should have been, but it still only makes it a great film. This is a warning, this is a spoiler review. If you have not watched Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, please don't watch this unless, well, you want to. So yes, major spoilers ahead. Now that you've been warned, I have to say the most anticipated comic book film since Avengers, first one, is a little bit of a letdown. It is not the absolute amazing film that we all wanted. It is only just a great film. Now yes, a great film is still a great film. But for Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon, you're expecting this glorious film, which it was not. There are a few problems with it, which I will get into later. The opening scene of this film is amazingly shot. It's what you expect from the Avengers. They go after Von Strucker, which you saw the end credit scene for a Winter Soldier who's experimenting with Loki's staff on a bunch of teenagers, which are the twins in this film. Now the Avengers are after Loki's staff. They're trying to help Thor to get this artifact back to Asgard. They do succeed. There's quite a funny scene in it where Iron Man flies into a room with a bunch of soldiers and says, whoa, let's talk. Then shoots everybody in the knee and then looks around and is like, good talk, and one soldier shouts in the background, no it isn't. Quite a funny scene. The opening scene here further just shows it kicks ass. There is a little part which amazed me. After everything was done, after Hawkeye was shot in the ribs and he had to be taken to hospital, they had to calm down the Hulk, which they haven't shown before or how they do it. And they asked Scarlett Johansson to calm him down, to sing him a lullaby. This creates a romantic relationship between the two, between Bruce Banner and Scarlett Johansson, which I did not expect, but was well executed in this film. Another thing that the opening scene shows is the camaraderie that Thor and Captain America has, where they play off each other's strengths. Captain America holding his shield and Thor slamming his hammer to the shield to take out a few people. Shows the respect for each other and they know each other's strengths and weaknesses. From there on, they take Loki's scepter back to Stark's headquarters, and Stark's analyze this thing for future use with Thor's permission. Here he discovers an artificial intelligence and he thinks he can use it for his Ultron program, which, I quote, put a shield around the Earth. That is the spawn of the Ultron program, and Jarvis' interaction with this program is extremely well shown. The visualization of this is great. I would love to see more of this in films. Now there's quite a nice party scene with Stan Lee shouting his Excelsior motto from his previous comic strips, and how everybody interacts with each other. Bruce Banner flirting with Scarlett Johansson back and forth. Then there's the whole hammer lifting scene of Thor, where Captain America barely moves it and the rest don't even start to show that they can move it. Now this scene is actually quite important to show trust in the rest of the film, with Iron Man and Captain America mocking this continuously during the film. From there on, as you can remember from the trailers, Ultron appears and threatens the Avengers with destruction. This resonates throughout the Avengers, and they kind of ask Stark, what the hell happened? What did you do? And you can see his scars from Avengers 1, the first one, where he had to save the world, and he's still traumatized by it. From there on, they do conclude they have to go find a character called Ulysses Klaue, which is the arch nemesis of Black Panther from Wakanda. Now, most people would say they went to Wakanda, but I allude they did not. Ultron also goes to Ulysses Klaue and gets vibranium from him. And when he asks where did he get it, he says at great cost, revealing a tattoo he has on his neck. In the film, they show the tattoos from Wakanda. So I'm guessing he's not in Wakanda, but he comes from Wakanda, or he did illegal business in there. Ulysses Klaue is played by Andy Serkis and has a brilliant South African accent. And I'm South African, it's a local accent, and he did it amazingly, much better than Leonardo DiCaprio. Very funny. He has a very funny sequence and interaction with the two twins, which I won't reveal here, but is just hands down one of the funniest things I've heard in the film. From there on, you see a more human side to Ultron. Yeah, he's in body form. and he does approach Julius's claw and actually cuts off his arm in a rage. He shows he's not machine. He has a human artificial intelligence derived from Tony Stark, but you'll see why. Although it's not like that in the comics he's trying to be an efficient machine. In the movie they try to make him more human because he does have artificial intelligence. He has emotion, which comes from Loki's staff. From there's an interaction with the Avengers and Ultron. Ultron being overpowered by the Avengers at the end, but his secret weapons, Scarlet Witch, mind bends them or something with her hands to put everybody in a trance, which is also one or two funny scenes. When she tries to do it with Hawkeye, Hawkeye stops her by plucking an electric arrow to her head, saying, I've been to the mind control party. Not a fan. With Iron Man already flying away, busy fighting Ultron. At the end of this scene, she does it to the Hulk, and the Hulk takes it out on a big city nearby. This city represented by my local South Africa, Joburg, where they have a huge fight. Iron Man calling on his Hulkbuster, he dubs Veronica, and they have actually an amazing battle in Johannesburg. It is such a good fight scene. This in the film damages the reputation of the Avengers and they have to go into hiding. Now here's the other surprise of the film. Hawkeye has a family and they go hide at his family house or ranch. And here there's a beautiful arc of Hawkeye showing why he's human amongst these gods of men and why Avengers still needs him. There's also the spoiler clip where Captain America and Iron Man clashes, the start of Civil War, and why it is important for both of them to stand their ground, and both of them are right in a sense. From there on, they regroup and decide to take on Ultron and try to stop him. Ultron goes to create his ultimate copy. You know, he recopies himself over and over and over to become better, to evolve. Here he tries to create a synthetic being, part human, part metal, and it kind of makes sense. This is where the Vision is created, and it was originally intended for him to be uploaded into the Vision. The Vision is different than the comics, but it makes sense, and it's well portrayed in this film. There a huge battle ensues with Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver going onto the Avengers side, eventually seeing Ultron just wants to destroy. After this, the Vision is taken back to headquarters where a huge discussion takes place, but the Vision is brought to life eventually. Now this is a scene where I have pet peeve with. There's a scene where Thor, after he sees the visions in his mind, wants to find out what's happening, and very abruptly he comes to a pool, but it's not explained what it is. It leaves a big gap. It doesn't even try to give you mystery into it. It just says a few sentences, Thor enters the water, and that's that. They never show it again. And he comes back enlightened, but it doesn't explain how. That is a big gap in this film, and I did not enjoy that part. It just took me out of the film, like, why did this happen? Although it is necessary for Thor to see this, for his visions to be explained, although they don't say how it is explained. And he is in the process of bringing Vision back to life. Vision eventually coming to life, chooses the side of the Avengers and explaining why. Telling the Avengers, you have no reason to trust me. And then saying, but we still have to go after Ultron. Then the Vision picks up Thor's hammer and passes it to Thor. With this action, he shows that he is worthy. He is as Thor. He has good intentions. Because none of the other Avengers are as worthy as him and Thor. And this shows the level of trust. There's a minutes of awkward silence, which is great for laughs, and it does show the immediate trust to Vision, to this artificial intelligence that is for humanity, played by Paul Bettany, played very well by Paul Bettany. After this, they take on Ultron in a city, which I'm guessing is somewhere in a city previous under the Iron Curtain, Eastern Europe. And here Ultron has been waiting for them. The fighting ensues. Now I'm not going to go deeply into the fighting. It is one of the best battle scenes ever. I was disappointed by Ultron's performance here. He felt too easily defeated in the end, although he had a huge army, and it felt that even though all the odds was stacked against the Avengers, that not enough was at stake. Very good end fighting scene against Ultron. It felt like the Vision overpowered Ultron in some sense, and it was not fair. It didn't feel like the risk of the Avengers were there. The end scene of the Avengers shows that S.H.I.E.L.D. came back to life, and I am very appalled by this, because all the events of Captain America Winter Soldier was made null and void when S.H.I.E.L.D. just popped back up into being. Now there is an explanation for this, but I don't find it legitimate at all. I find that we don't trust Marvel anymore with this, because they kill off characters and they bring back to life. S.H.I.E.L.D. being one of them. But at the end of this film, the Avengers have a headquarters and they actually get a team and sponsored, and they're basically the new S.H.I.E.L.D. with Captain America being in charge of it, Vision helping there, Hawkeye being retired with his wife, the Falcon being there, Scarlet Witch being there, and so on and so forth. The end credit scene I will not spoil, because that does allude to a lot of future Marvel developments, but you can kind of guess what it is. The pet peeve which throughout this film irritated me a lot. A lot of things weren't resolved. Not like Avengers 1 where they didn't need to be resolved. It was things that were bearing questions that weren't resolved. Being one, the scene of Thor in the pool, which didn't make any sense, even though you know his vision, which spelled doomed for Asgard. That took me out of the film. The S.H.I.E.L.D. coming back with still a helicarrier took me out of the film. That's not what's supposed to happen, but after the events of previous films, S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been disbanded. And within the film, Nick Fury says he doesn't have all these eyes and ears anymore, but then pitches up with a helicarrier. I feel so betrayed with that. In the trailers, they show Ultron as this calculating menace of a robot, and in the film he's more of a jokingly robot trying to take over the world of his god personality. Although it was a good portrayal, it did take me out half of the film. Why is Ultron like this? It is a new version of him, and it does make sense within the film, because he's artificial intelligence. He does have emotion. He gets that emotion from Jarvis's corrupted software and few words and on the internet that he gets from his father, Tony Stark. After I did complain, there are a few very good scenes that alludes to much more that's going to happen in Marvel in the future. One of them being Scarlet Witch's vision she gave to Tony Stark of all the Avengers dying or being dead, and a huge invasion of the Chitauri to Earth. I believe this was a vision and not a nightmare of him. It seemed completely different to everybody else's nightmare-induced mind thing that Scarlet Witch gave to them. I believe this is allude to Avengers 3 and 4, Infinity Wars, and I'm quite excited that they put this in. The other thing I liked was the Civil War commentary, where you see Iron Man and Captain America not seeing eye to eye, both being completely right in their own perspective, but they don't see eye to eye at all. And this plays throughout the whole film. The way they see how to protect the Earth is probably one of the best ways the film could have been depicted. This sets up Civil War amazingly well. The friction in Civil War won't need to be justified in the film. It has been justified in this film, and it is amazing. And if you look back far enough, even in Captain America Winter Soldier, there was a little bit of conflict between the two. Actually, great arc of Hulk, which I'm not going to reveal in the spoilers because it was surprising. I am going to leave that for your imagination and how it can play out for future Marvel properties and the rumors behind that. But Hulk being a very important figure here. The character I didn't talk too much about is Vision, and how he ultimately defeats Ultron and why he needs to defeat Ultron. He has one comment in this film which I feel is very applicable to the Marvel films overall. Isn't there beauty in the fact that it doesn't last forever? That was his comment to Ultron, and you will understand in the film why. It feels like it alludes to Joss Whedon leaving the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe forever, maybe only for now. It also kind of reminisces the whole, if it doesn't continue forever, that it is beauty in itself. And if you really want to, you can allude that to Joss Whedon's Firefly, where the series was where there was only one season and it is beauty in itself. I thought that was quite a clever reference from Joss Whedon in the film. But okay, if I missed everything, there's many Easter eggs I did not see. I'm going to see the film a second time. Maybe if I see a lot of the Easter eggs, I will post a video on that. But yes, it is a great film. It's a must-watch. Please comment down below if there's things I have not seen or not discussed that you would like to discuss. And thanks for watching and listening to my irritating voice. Cheers.